Hello everyone, welcome to supplychainway.com. So warehousing has come a long way from being merely called as godowns to become one of the most competitive edge in an organization. So how this transformation has happened, right? Just 10 years before, warehouses has been called as godowns. Now it is being discussed in the boardrooms, right? If you just think about it, the answer is pretty simple. It is because of the abundant value that we can bring in through the warehouse optimization, right? So all the organizations, when they look at their supply chain, they now started to realize the chunk of the chunk of value what you can bring in by optimizing your warehouses is really huge. Now let's get into a little more details on it. So when I say warehouse optimization, it is threefold. It is the space optimization, it is the flow optimization, and the final one is the resource optimization. All these three put together, it is called warehouse optimization. I normally term it as within the four wall optimization, because we are talking about exactly what happens within the warehouse, right? So let's go one by one. So when we talk about space optimization within the warehouse, the one metric which is going to just tell you the story is the cubic space utilization. Then you have a lot of tier 1 and tier 2 matrices, but this cubic space utilization percentage exactly gives you what is the total space, not just length and width. It also considers the height, considers the warehouse as a cube, and then tell you, basis your storage patterns, basis the amount of products you have, it tells what is the percentage is your warehouse utilized in terms of space. Okay, and another very good way of representing this is the number of pallets per square meter. But as I said, the top matrix is going to be the cubic space utilization. And number two is the flow optimization as well as the resource optimization. These both have a lot of areas which is common to them. So flow, basically it is like how the material is coming inside, the inbound, that inventory and managing it, and the outbound, how this set of activities are happening. And resources, basically these are the people who are going to do these activities, how these two are optimized. And this one top matrix which is going to tell you the entire story of how optimized is this is the lines per man hour, LPMH. Okay, now what kind of tools we use for the probably the flow optimization, right? So for flow optimization we can use tools like congestion analysis. There is another tool called traffic analysis, and I would love to use a spaghetti diagram as well, which exactly tells you where actually some of the non-value-added activities in terms of unnecessary motion, crisscross movements are happening. Number one. Number two, very crucial, when you do a congestional traffic analysis, you will exactly find the areas where there is a risk. How? For example, if when you're doing a traffic and congestion analysis, if there is a particular aisle which is having the maximum activity of your material handling equipments, and there is also a people moving, that is definitely a red flag for you to look at it and avoid that risk before it gets into an incident or an accident. Okay, great. And similar way, for the resource optimization, I would most cases I use Therblick study, which is a form of a motion study. Also a very powerful technique, you can also do a Gemba study and analysis to exactly understand what are all the set of activities which is happening within the four walls, identify the waste within that, and then we can basically fix them or avoid them or mitigate them such that the metrics of lines per man hour increases. Now, so These are the three things. I'll just quickly consolidate. So on a warehouse space optimization, warehouse optimization, we have the space optimization, we have the flow optimization, as well as the resource optimization. If you do all these things, you can see really some wonders happening in your warehouse. And the most exciting part of this is you can see these reflecting on your P&L pretty soon. Okay, so it's also always great when you do this and see the value happening and it is reflecting on your P&Ls. Just go back, try and look at your operations, try and use these techniques. You can get back to me if you need more details on it, you want to share your experience on them, feel free to write back to me. I will get back to you with yet another video on the warehouse optimization. Thank you so much.